All right, all right, all right. We are back for another week of Just a Fan podcast. And I'm trying to hold on this. I'm trying to hold in this laughter because somebody right now is very irritated on the screen here. But anyway,
I'm just irritated behind, content creators. And that's why my caption this week says, we're not here for clicks. Um, and I'll elaborate more on that later. But some people got to have some integrity. What up, Donald? Some people
what's
have to
up,
have some
Donald?
integrity when they create content. Don't just put outlandish, crazy stuff up there when you're a sports content creator just so people can click on it
Yeah,
and
man.
watch your dumbass video. And you know good and hell well what you talking about is not realistic. It's not even intelligent, and you just saying some stuff. And it's like it's irritating. Of course, that's their channel, that's their platform. I have no control over that other than to just not watch it. I'm not going to call any names. I'm not going to tell people who to not watch, but you do need the spirit of discernment, my audience, because there are a lot of people who just put stuff out there. And I'm part of a chat group, and I got guys that just constantly put stuff in the chat group that come from sources that are completely unreliable and have been wrong on several occasions about it. This is the time of year where people just go into straight speculation mode, whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft, it's just straight speculation mode. And you, as a content creator, I feel like have a responsibility to, you can guess, you can talk about what could happen, but don't pontificate about it as if you just Nostradamus or something. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Now I
do
feel you, man. I feel you. Now, because actually, I got an example myself. Somebody said no, Cleveland Browns are going to trade for Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott,
That's
and I'm like,
that's one of the examples right there. The fact that even got into the atmosphere is ridiculous. And whoever started that rumor,
I know,
or
I saw the guy who started the room, and I was like, okay, wait a minute.
he need to get hit
First
in the
of
face with a
all,
bag of hot quarters.
first of all, hold on. Let me introduce us, okay? For people who don't know, because most of our viewers know who we are. But anyway, Coach Williams, NFL Encyclopedia, build a game through the trenches. That's panel 316. Like he says, you're not here for clicks. He's a good guy with a black hat.
We don't do
Eh,
that here.
But we don't do click stuff, okay? We are just a fan podcast for a reason. We don't do none of this click stuff. We bring you guys factual information. We can talk about stuff that may or may not happen, but we don't make it seem like it's actually going to happen. Like, going back to the whole Doug Prescott thing. First of all, the man just signed a 4-year contract extension last summer. Then this offseason, they just restructured his contract, which means they push some money down in the future and put on a credit card. So why would you trade Dak Prescott now to Cleveland, knowing you're going to take a huge salary cap hit? That doesn't make any sense. So people sit here and put out ridiculous information. And look, I know, stuff is slow. Free agency is slow. The draft isn't here yet, so people need something to talk about. And so, but if you want something to talk about, you can come here and we can, and you guys have, matter of fact, if you guys have any questions tonight, ask them. We do have topics that we're going to go over, but we go over factual stuff. We don't do stuff just for you to click and then we got like 700 views in 5 seconds.
I'll do you one better. When we do give opinions or when we do speculate, they are fact based speculations. So you look at this variable and this variable and this variable, and you put those together, and then we make a speculation based off of that. Basically, probabilities. That's what we do. We don't sit up here and say, let's pull something out of thin air and talk about it like it could really happen. And a lot of content creators on this platform, on YouTube, are infamous for that. And the casuals, they gobble it up like just, like catfish on anything that hits the bottom of the lake. That's what they do. They gonna gobble it up. It don't matter what it is. chicken livers, anything. But you got to have a better spirit of discernment, my fans, people who are fans of sports in general, because yeah, it's the slow time of the year,
Yes.
and especially for NFL football, just NFL football in general. Like most people in the March Madness, but if you're a diehard NFL fan, it's not hard to find stuff to watch. But these content creators who create content just dealing with football, like us, a lot of them, they can't carry on a discussion about things that are fact based. They're worried about how many clicks they get. They're worried about how many people they can get to like their channel and this, that, and the third. And not, don't get us wrong. We want 1 million subscribers. We do. We want, people constantly watching us every time we go live. Absolutely. However, what we refuse to do on this podcast, and it's gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way, a lot of content creators the wrong way if they see this, is we not finna just put anything out there. We not gonna do that. I can think about that scene on Avengers Infinity War where the Avengers came to Wakanda, and I forgot who that was that tricked Bruce Banner to bowing to T'Challa, and T'Challa was like, "We don't do that here." That's literally how we are. We don't do that here.
Yeah, we're not gonna sit here and say Lamar Jackson's gonna get traded to San Francisco for Brock Purdy straight up.
Yeah, or no, I do you one better because it was actually in the atmosphere. And it's sad because this person is like a nationally syndicated broadcast person. I'm not gonna call no names. But they were talking about suggesting that the 49ers trade Brock Purdy and bring in a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and that's gonna be it. Yeah. And now you got other idiots quoting him. Well, he, his name rhymes with Allen Fowherd. But saying stuff like that, you on a whole network, man. Like, come on, have some integrity about yourself. Don't be saying stuff like that. And there's nothing in the atmosphere. There's nothing in the works about it. Neither team is, neither Aaron Rodgers nor the 49ers are even in any discussion. It's nothing like that.
If anything, it's Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers.
It's Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is sitting at home trying to figure out what he's going to do. What he need to do is go to the house. That's what he need to do.
I agree.
He need to go to the house. You're 41 years old, and you on your last leg, and you still got people talking about this stuff. It's like, yeah, he needs to go to
He's literally on his last leg.
Yeah. Literally, yes. Thank you. He needs to go to the 49ers. They'll win it all with Aaron Rodgers. Tell me you don't know anything about football without telling me you don't know anything about football. Honestly, and it's like, it's ridiculous. I've seen so many things, so many just rumors, just circulate, and people throw that stuff into the atmosphere so it can work people up into a frenzy, and now they're on their websites and they're clicking and they're typing and they're talking about it, and they're at the water cooler at work talking about it, and oh yeah, such and such said it, go to his page, and they get all these clicks. We don't do it for clicks. Now, if it means that we got to grow this channel slowly, so be it. If it means it's going to take us a while to get over 50,000 subs, so be it. But we will conduct this podcast, and I speak for my other hosts that are not on with us right now. We will conduct this podcast with integrity. That's one thing you will always get from us on Just a Fan Podcast. So if you don't want your content creators making up stuff all in the videos, all on the podcast, talking crazy, watch Just a Fan Podcast. Yay.
West Side.
Yeah. I had to give my Suge Knight speech. Nice speech, man. I'm serious, man. I'm like, yeah, man.
That was classic, though, man. That was classic.
It will forever be classic. That speech, yeah. You want to produce all of the video. It looked like both of them gonna be in jail by that time. Puffy and Suge, both gonna be in.
Oh God,
Suge already in jail. Puffy probably go. Well, Puffy is in jail. So Anyway, on the football.
You know what? I wanted to say something about Kanye West.
And I'm gonna leave it at that. We can go to football now. We can go to football.
I just want to ask you a quick question. Is yes or no? Did you see his outfit that he had on?
Whose outfit?
Kanye West.
No, I did not. And I
You don't know?
I'm not a
Okay.
Kanye West
Okay. That's
person.
okay.
Now
That's fine.
let me put it to you like this. Musically, he produces some really good stuff.
Yes.
And I hate, I got to give props what they do. But anything past that, he's a freaking lunatic. He's a freaking lunatic.
You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. All right. When we get off air, I'll show you, man. I'll show you. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let's talk football.
Let's
Speaking
talk
of New,
football.
speaking of New York, because that's where the famous Suge Knight. Actually, Snoop Dogg said something that same night too.
Yep. I don't fool with him either after recent events. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
exactly. But that's what kept that West Coast East Coast beef going. But anyway, speaking of New York, some incidents happened over the last couple of weeks. The New York Giants have signed a couple veteran quarterbacks, excuse me, and former Bucks and Saints quarterback and other teams, Jameis Winston, and then former Seahawks, Broncos, and Steelers quarterback and Super Bowl winner Russell Wilson. I think that's interesting that they signed two veteran quarterbacks. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they picked third overall in the draft.
That's
Yeah, third overall in the draft. So I'm very interested in seeing um, which way this goes. What they do with that third overall pick. Do they still take a quarterback like maybe Shedeur Sanders, or do they take a best player available? How does Russell, in your opinion, how do you think Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston signings affect his draft?
Well, there's several different directions you can go with this because uh you just brought in two veteran quarterbacks. Two quarterbacks who have the ability to blow games open. They have playmaking ability. But at the same time, two quarterbacks who have the ability to throw games away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're kind of hedging their bet and trying to just keep the ship afloat. I don't think the Giants, and I could be wrong. Okay. I could be wrong, but I don't think the Giants think that they're going to do anything remotely close to contending this year. And I think they're just trying to keep the salary cap low, and just put pieces together little by little. I could be wrong about that. They really could be like, hey, we're gonna bring in Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and we're going to Super Bowl with that. They could be that mentality. I'm not in that building. I don't know. I don't think it is, but I think that both of them, both Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, are both two sides of a bridge. And I really think that the Giants, this is just my speculation, but I think the Giants are still probably going to take a quarterback if either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders is available at 3. And now the upside about that is if that's what they're doing, it makes sense to have some veteran quarterbacks around while you're bringing along your rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And also, in the meantime, you're adding pieces because that rookie quarterback's on his rookie deal. These guys are not on very expensive deals. You can go ahead and add pieces over the next couple of years. So by the time said rookie quarterback is ready to take over as the starter, both these guys' deals are up. He's the starter. And now you have some valuable pieces outside of Malik Neighbors that can threaten the NFC East. And Washington, Dallas, and Philly ain't looking at New York and laughing, So I think that if that is what they're trying to do, I'm not saying that is what they're trying to do, but if that is what they're trying to do, then it's not a bad strategy. So that's my take on it.
Well, I think Brian Dayball and the GM is trying their best not to just sit there and rely solely on a rookie quarterback. You have a couple of veterans who have, especially one of them has some skins on the wall, but he hasn't. He's been on decline the last couple seasons. Um, um, so they can draft a quarterback. Um, they don't have to. They can take the best player available. I don't know who you would take at number three because I don't know who's going to be there by the time they.
And that's a funny thing because there's so much speculation about spots 1 and 2
Yeah.
that when you get to pick number 3, it's like, okay, now wait a minute. You know,
And honestly, I think it's more speculation as just spot number 2 than 1.
yeah.
I feel like one is
The
almost
Browns,
even.
yeah. The Browns are they're now they're gassing up Abdul Carter,
That's true.
but they don't have a quarterback. You know, so I don't know.
It's interesting.
I've run several simulations, simulate mock drafts where I took my hand off and let the computer do the simulation. I run about 2 or 3. No, I've run close to 5 actually. And Cameron Ward keeps popping up as number 1 to the Titans, but 2 and 3 are always something different. Everything from a tackle to New York,
Really?
to Shedeur Sanders, to it's really number 2. Sometimes it's Abdul Carter, and then sometimes at number 2 the Browns take Shedeur Sanders, which has New York. One of my simulations, the Giants traded back. So 2 and 3 are like really in the air. By the way, if you're watching right now and you have some comments or some questions, please, in the midst of us just pontificating and just going on and talking, you can ask questions and we'll get to them. So don't be afraid to ask questions or make statements. But yeah, just overall, 2 and 3 are up in the air.
Yes.
And I feel like, and we don't want to jump ahead because we're gonna have a whole draft preview show that we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. But it is draft season. But I feel like whatever happens in these first 3 picks is going to determine the rest of the first round.
Yes, definitely.
I feel like they're gonna set the mood. They're gonna set the tone for the rest of that draft. Who goes 1, 2, and 3? It's gonna set the tone for the rest of the draft.
Because I tell you what, if Cam Ward really does go to Tennessee, and I think that's really likely going to happen, if Shedeur Sanders goes either 2 or 3, we're gonna have a serious run on quarterbacks because quarterbacks gonna start going higher than they should.
You think guys are gonna start reaching?
Yep.
I can see that. I don't. There's some teams that I don't think are just that.
Some teams won't, but I think some teams. I think there might be another quarterback that might go maybe top 10 or top 15. Somebody's
who we talking about? We talking about Jackson Dart? Who we talking about? Like see, that's why Tristan is not on right now, but Tristan is our resident quarterback whisperer. Who's the 3rd best quarterback going into the draft? That's a question that need answering. I can say who I think, but that's not my wheelhouse.
Well, I mean, you brought up Jackson Dart. That's not a bad idea. Will Howard might not be a bad idea. And you know what? Based off of physical traits, somebody might reach for Jalen Monroe.
Talking about Milroe, Alabama.
Milroe. Yeah, Milroe for Alabama. Yep. Yeah.
I think that would be a huge mistake if Jalen Milroe is taken in the first.
I listen. I agree with you, but I'm gonna tell you something. One thing's for certain, 2 things for sure. There are a lot of teams in the NFL who just suck at drafting. I'm sorry.
This is true. This is true. Speaking of which, the draft class of 2022 have now been in the league for 3 years now.
Yeah, 3.
And they are due for a lot of them are due for their contract extension. For those you know how contracts work, usually rookies will sign a 4-year deal. First rounders have an option to get a 5th-year option. And some teams, if these guys are balling out, they may get extended early. Like some of these guys on the list that we're going to talk about soon. While we were talking just now, I just ran another quick simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Cameron Ward is number 1, but the Browns have taken Will Campbell at number 2, and the Giants have taken Abdul Carter at number 3.
So wait a minute, what position does Will Campbell play?
Offensive tackle.
That's interesting.
And this is how it shows up every time. Every time it shows up like that.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. So, I'm using Pro Football Network. Mock draft, which is what we will be using when we do our mock 1 point only, which will be coming very soon. But this is it's an interesting simulation. But again, like I said, the first 3 picks, will determine the rest of the first round, how the rest of that Thursday night is going to go. But I digress. Back to my original point. The class of 2022, if these players are drafted in 2022, they are due for extensions. What we're going to do tonight, hence the title of our show, Who Deserves That Check, Who Doesn't, is we're going to discuss all 32 picks of the first round of the 2022 draft. And basically, we're going to revisit that draft and talk about, was that a good pick or not? Also, would you give them an extension? Would you give them a 5th-year option and wait? Or would you cut bait and just let them play out their contract and let them walk? So those are going to be the 3 options. So for those of you watching at home, make sure that you come on in and participate with us. When we call a name and you think they are a certain way about that player, you can say, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, let him walk after his 4th year.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da, 5th-year option. Da-da-da-da-da-da, pay the man.
Yeah, but please give us a name in the comment. Give us a name and say, and give us your opinion. So, like for number 1, back in 2022, the Jacksonville Jaguars select edge rusher Trayvon Walker, Georgia. Now,
and we've begun.
I believe that you let him play out that contract, not the 5th-year option. I'm not giving him the 5th-year option.
Okay.
You let him play out 4 years and see what he does. But Trayvon Walker, I'm not sold on him because that's a Trent Baalke pick, number 1. But then also number 2, the guy who.
But go ahead.
But also the guy who everybody else in the front office wanted, who went next at Aiden Hutchinson, has completely outperformed him.
Let's not jump the gun. Hold on. Because I know because we itching to get to Aiden Hutchinson. I think everybody knows what we're gonna say. Everybody was
I know. I'm not saying anything about him yet, but what I'm saying though is making this Walker pick look so bad, and it's making Liam Cohn so far look good as a head coach by saying, "Hey, I'm not coaching Jacksonville until you get this guy out of here as the GM." So, and
Trent Baalke is a walking football abomination as a GM. He is.
Yes, and I had put something in our group chat a couple of days ago about a lot of Jacksonville Jaguar mistakes, and I said, whose fault was a lot of these mistakes? And
I said, effing Trent Baalke.
Trent Baalke.
No, I didn't say Trent Baalke. I said effing Trent Baalke.
Well, that's what he said, but I'm keeping extra rated.
We're keeping it PG.
We keeping yeah. So that was a Trent Baalke pick and Trayvon Walker, even though he did go to Georgia, and I get the whole Georgia stuff, but you know what? When you come to the NFL and they rely on you to be the guy, and you there by yourself, sometimes you ain't always the guy. Because I think I know who the guy really was at Georgia. But
Yeah, getting to my take on Trayvon Walker, I feel the same way you do. 24 sacks, 82 solo tackles, 3 forced fumbles in how many seasons? 3 seasons. It's not bad, but it's not, hey, pay the man type money.
it's also not number one overall.
No, it's not number one overall production. You're absolutely right.
Because if I'm gonna draft you number one overall, you an edge rusher. I need you to really and truly affect the quarterback. Because 24 sacks in 3 years, you're averaging 8 sacks a season.
Mm-hmm.
I
Which
should be
is not right, which is nowhere near.
right. I should be getting that from a number 2 pass rusher.
Yes. If you bringing in a guy that you drafted on day 2 or even day 3, and he's giving you 8 sacks a season, you hit. That's a hit.
Now,
but if your number 1 overall pick is averaging 8 sacks a season, no sir, no ma'am. No sir, no ma'am. That's not good production. So yeah, I would say 5th year option. If you have any comments about Trayvon Walker,
real quick,
just go ahead and put it in the comments. Go ahead.
Real quick. If he was a defensive tackle, then I'll be fine with that. But he's an edge rusher, so there you go.
Well, we're going to the next player.
Yeah, just real quick, I want to let this individual know that there are some HBCU players in the NFL. We're not going to, get into all that, but there are some HBCU players in the NFL.
Yes, and there was an HBCU combine that was held roughly a month ago. Hopefully some of those players get drafted. Hopefully it won't be the quarterback from Grambling, but I'll get into that later. He's not good. But yes, there are a lot of HBCU players that are potential draftees, and the stigma behind HBCU football. A lot of people feel like, oh, well, he came from they'll say small school, and they'll feel like they can't play in the league, but there have been major contributors throughout the history of the NFL who have come from HBCUs. And I could go on and on and on about it, but we don't want to get off topic. But I'm going to just drop 2 names and leave it alone. Jerry Rice, Walter Payton. Okay, let's go on.
All right, number 2, Detroit Lions select Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 overall.
28.5 sacks, 82 solo, forced fumble, four forced fumbles. Bear in mind, he was injured his 3rd year. So in that 3rd year, he wasn't able to produce like he wanted to, but he was on a tear before he got injured.
Yes,
he played in 5 games and got 7.5 sacks and a forced fumble. So, and that's in 5 games. So he was on track to really, get more than that. He's going to get double digits. Put it like that. So this is one of those, and I know you had the nasty leg break, but pay the man. Because had Detroit, and the injury update about him was, had Detroit made the Super Bowl, Aiden Hutchinson would have been healthy enough to play. His doctor would have had him cleared to play.
Yep.
So, which means
he's ready to go now.
He's ready to go for training camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Aiden Hutchinson is worth the money. I really call Aiden Hutchinson to me is an angrier Nick Bosa. I just put it like Aiden, like Nick Bosa is like, okay, I'm going to try to get this sack because I want to get my money. Aiden Hutchinson is like, I'm trying to take your life. When he come after the quarterback, he's an anger. He's all of the flex that Nick Bosa has, all the speed that Nick Bosa has, the great hands, shedding blocks like Nick Bosa, but just angrier. He's just mad. He plays angry. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you need to watch some Detroit Lions games when he's playing. He's frightening. And he was worth every bit of that. I don't know how long it took them to go ahead and get on the phone and call to say, hey, we drafted Aiden Hutchinson. But they should have filled that draft card out as soon as Trayvon Walker went to Jacksonville. That card, they should have had a card filled out already, just sitting to the side. It should have been sitting right on there, like, okay, let me see who is Jacksonville take? Trayvon Walker. Okay, bring this up there. Bring it up there right now. That's it. Because I mean, he's deserves the money because he's earned the right to get paid like that as a first round top 5 draft pick as a defensive end, as an edge rusher. He's him. So I don't think there's any discussion to be had about that. I'm gonna let you have your take. But comments about Aiden Hutchinson in the comment box, please, by all means. But go ahead, Brandon.
I mean, it's not much else to say. I mean, because I kind of tied the two already. And when I was talking about Trayvon Walker, I mean, like I said, Trayvon Walker was a Trent Baalke pick. Everybody else in Jacksonville wanted Aiden Hutchinson. Trent Baalke ruled with an iron fist, got Trayvon Walker. Detroit took Aiden Hutchinson, and there you go. The rest is history. And now Aiden Hutchinson is worth number 2 overall pick. Whereas Trayvon Walker is not worth number 1 overall pick. Just like Chase Young was not worth number 2 overall pick. Anyway. Next up.
You preaching.
Next up.
Make me get on my organ now.
Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback.
He already got paid, and he's earned it.
Out of LSU, and yes, he got paid already.
And he earned it.
He got paid within the last couple of weeks. Congratulations. He is definitely one of the best, if not the best, cornerback in the league.
He's arguably, yeah.
Definitely, just straight up congratulations, man. The man, he holds it down as a cornerback when he covering the best receivers in the league. I don't know, man. I ain't got no much else to say. Like I said, he got paid and well deserved.
Hey. 36 passes defensed. 36 passes defense in 3 years.
That's ball skills.
11 picks.
That's ball skills.
You can't argue with that. Like, I dare somebody try to argue with me about that. How this man, he don't deserve that money. You need to go drink some bleach. I'm just saying that you can't have an intelligent argument about Derek Stingley not getting his money, and Houston Texans have every right to pay him that because he's playing up to that. So yeah, he's phenomenal. Any questions, comments about Derek Stingley, and we'll address them. Moving on.
Sauce Gardner, New York Jets, coming out of Cincinnati. Now, Sauce Gardner was a good corner coming out of college. Okay. Mm-hmm. Here's my question. Was it scheme because of Robert Saleh? But Robert Saleh has been good in San Francisco, so I'm just wondering about that. Or does he need more development because he came from a school like a Cincinnati versus, let's say, an LSU or a Ohio State or something like that? Like, what's going on with Sauce Gardner?
All right. Good. I'm the resident DB guy. Here's the thing. Sauce Gardner is an interesting conversation. As we get further down this list, things are going to get way more interesting. But I think it's a product of the team that he's on, that he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. Because everybody's talking about Pat Surtain, and really talking about Pat Surtain now because Denver's better. Everybody's talking about Derek Stingley because Houston is a good team. They division winners. Sauce Gardner is still him. 2-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro, AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. You can't. His resume speaks for itself. He doesn't get a lot. He doesn't have a lot of interceptions. He doesn't have a lot of turnover. I mean, takeaways or tackle. You know why? Because they're not throwing at him. But watch this: 40 passes defensed in 3 years. 40 in 3
Ball
years.
skills.
Ball skills. So pay the man. Now the question is, and that's a question for a discussion for another time, is does he get paid Derek Stingley money, or does he, do you pay him under that? That's going to be the question. I think it's somewhere in the same ballpark because he's a phenomenal player on a bad team.
Yeah, I agree. Because
Derek Stingley is a phenomenal player on a damn good team.
Right. I think you got to pay him similar to what Stingley got paid, because you're looking at, like you said, 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year. So yeah, you got to pay him. You got to pay him close to what Stingley got.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about Sauce Gardner getting his money. Again, folks who are watching at home, feel free to comment. Tell us what you think, and we can talk about it. All right, moving on.
Do you want to go over this?
Go over my Skins at the 29 pick. Who should we get, and what do we need to beat the Eagles to make it to the Super Bowl? And he called me by my crab name. Okay. Yeah, that's one of my partners from Grambling. We marched in the World of Fame together. I want to come back. I want to put a pin in that question.
Okay.
And I want to come back because it's a legitimate question, and I want to answer it. And but we on a different topic. So
okay, that's fine.
We're gonna stay the course. But Murph Dog, I ain't forgot about you. We're gonna get to your question later on in the show. Okay. So put a pin in that comment. We're gonna come back to it and we're gonna talk about it because it's relevant. Okay. Moving on. We are talking about Mr. Kayvon Thibodeaux, defensive end.
New York Giants,
Oregon.
Yeah, he was drafted 5th overall. Listen, I feel the same way about Thibodeaux as I feel about Trayvon Walker. You have not done what you were supposed to do as a pass rusher, being drafted top 5. They traded for Brian Burns for a reason, because they needed to bring in some kind of pass rush. And so do not give him a 5th-year contract.
Ooh.
What?
Wow. Okay. No. Go on. I'm listening.
No, I'm saying because he hasn't. Well, I mean, unless I'm wrong.
So no. So we know we're talking about levels here. So don't give him the 5th-year option is level 1. That means after year 4, you let him walk.
Yeah.
Give him the 5th-year option means you extend him for 1 year and you see what happens.
I understand that.
And then pay him is the upper level, the highest level.
Well,
so you're saying. I want to be clear on what you're saying here. You're saying don't give him the 5th-year option. Let him walk after this year comes.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Because, again, if I'm drafting you, you're supposed to perform where I draft you. Now, if you perform beyond that, then, hey, let's go to Golden Corral. Let's get something good to eat. Okay? We're going to celebrate. But you a 5th overall pick, man. You should be like Trayvon. You should be like Aiden Hutchinson. You and Trayvon Walker should be like Aiden Hutchinson.
Somewhere in the ballpark, at least.
Yeah. Who's talking about Kayvon Thibodeaux as an elite pass rusher? When we talk about these pass rushers, who we talk about?
No.
Bosa, Watt, Garrett. Who's talking about Thibodeaux?
Now, to be fair, bad team. We had to pick that.
I understand that. Who's talking about Thibodeaux? But they traded Brian Burns for a reason.
So you saying they traded Brian Burns and they
traded for Brian Burns for a reason because Brian Burns was in Carolina.
They brought him in because he's not packing the gear, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm drafting you now, I get it. You need development. I understand that. But that's when your head coach should notice that and be saying something to the D-line coach, and D-line coach not getting better, then he need to get a new D-line coach.
Yeah.
But
so
you
go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and finish.
You drafted 5th overall. You need to be performing how Aiden Hutchinson is performing. I'm sorry. Now, if you want to get rid of the 5th-year option, but maybe give him a small contract extension, okay. But other than that, I'm not giving you the 5th-year option.
See, that's a slippery slope right there. You had to talk about giving him a small extension. Like, I would at least, because where I was going with this was I was like, okay, let's give him a 5th-year option and see what's going to happen.
Nah.
And then after that, because it doesn't cost you a whole lot.
But no, 5th-year option does cost you some money.
Not a lot. It doesn't cost you a lot. It doesn't cost you as much as a doggone long-term extension would.
No, it doesn't. But hold on. Because now you're going to make me do it.
Go ahead, look it up, because this is relevant. Go ahead.
Where's that 5th-year at? See, club. Oh, it's not giving me the numbers for the club. I hate that. 5th-year option available. I hate when they don't give you the numbers for that. Because that's just showing me the blank.
At the end of the day, a 5th-year option is a 1-year deal, and it's going to cost your team a lot less than if you give this person, say, a 4 or 5 year.
No, listen, I agree with you on that. I agree. Hold on. Let me find something else out real quick. I'm glad I can pull out my phone and just do this off the fly. Okay. So Son has okay, 6 forced fumbles total, 21 sacks. I think he's averaging 7 sacks a season. That's worse than Walker.
Yes.
So no. So wait a minute. Time out. If I'm not giving Walker the 5th-year option, what makes you think I'm giving him the 5th-year option?
He's drafted lower.
Eric, stop. Okay, now
look, if you control, I control too.
No, you trolling now. You trolling now, man.
But no, realistically, no. Okay, so all jokes aside,
I was like, wait a minute, something ain't right with Eric.
No, because I did say give Trayvon Walker the 5th year.
You did? I was disagreeing with you on that one.
So I gave Trayvon Walker the 5th year, and I feel like Thibodeau can get the 5th year too, and then we see what happens. And after that, hey, we gonna either part ways, we're gonna give you an extension because you got to show us. You got this year. I put it like this: he plays this year. Let's see what happens, and then we put the 5th-year option if he plays well this year.
No. That doesn't work, Eric.
This is his 4th year.
I understand that. Okay. Here we go. I'm glad I left this up here on my computer. Okay. The deadline for the 5th-year option for class of 2022 is May 1st.
Okay, so it's before this 4th season.
Yes. Okay. It's always during the 3rd season.
Thank you for that correction. Okay, so if that's the case, I still stand on what I said and give him the 5th-year option. So
nope. Ain't changed my mind.
Well, I'm not asking you what you think right now. I'm telling you what I'm saying.
I know you are.
I'm saying give him the 5th-year option.
Okay, that's
fine. You got
2
years to prove. You got 2 years to prove what's going on because after that,
hey, listen.
And then on top of that, wait a minute. On top of that, I give him the 5th-year option. Jacksonville, I give Trayvon Walker the 5th-year option, but I draft your replacement.
I'm drafting a replacement regardless.
I'm drafting your replacement now. And here's the thing. Your replacement gets drafted this season. You crap the bed. You don't play well. He's ready to go after a year as a starter. He's sliding right in your position. Now, that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, let's say Trayvon Walker just all of a sudden explodes under a new defensive coordinator. let's say Thibodeau starts playing better. So now you got two bookend pass rushes that you got the guy you took in 2022, and you got the guy you took in 2025, and you got two young bulls that are really getting after the quarterback. That's best case scenario. But I'm one for not just throwing out the baby with the bathwater yet. Now, you know how I am about trash players. I don't think these guys are trash players, but I think they still need to prove something else before they get a long-term extension. I think we're on the same page with that. You like, get rid of them. They gotta go. You're fired. So, but I'm a little bit more on the fence with that. So
now see, now here's my thing, and this is something I learned from Bill Parcells. You have 3 years to show me something, and I need to, and I need to see continued progression. Now, I tell you what. If I had seen some kind of progression each year, then yes, I would say give you fifth option. But if I'm seeing you averaging 7 sacks as a number 5 overall pick and average 8 sacks as number 1 overall pick, man, get out of here. You're not getting your fifth year option. And yeah, I'm looking to draft your replacement. So next player, number 6 overall, Carolina Panthers, Iko Ekwonu, offensive tackle, North Carolina State. I don't know what happened with him, because when he came out of college, and I know he didn't have good technique, but he was one of those physical offensive linemen that would just push you off the screen. Okay? It's like when you watch the movie Blindside and Michael Orr locks in and it's a run play and he pushes dude all the way down the field and pushes him over the fence.
Yeah.
That's Iko Ekwonu coming out of college. But he hasn't done that in the league. And I don't know who because I knew he needed work on his technique. So I don't know who the offensive line coach is. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's a coach. I don't know what it is. But
okay. So do you give him the extension? Do you give him a fifth year option? Or do you let him walk after the season? I can give my answer while you wait.
I tell you what. Hold on. Where does Carolina pick this year? Because that helped me out even more. Oh, heck, I don't want that. I want to do Carolina's picking 8th.
Yeah.
Okay, so Carolina's picking 8th. I don't know why I keep doing that. So if they pick an 8th,
they can draft his replacement.
I will draft you a replacement. I'm not picking up your fifth year option. If I like you, then I give you a decent contract extension. It won't be crazy, but I'll give you a decent contract extension. If you don't like it, then you can go.
So no fifth year option, but offer an extension at the end of this season.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, but now here's the thing: at the end of the season, he's a free agent, so now you got to compete with other teams.
You don't have to compete with other teams as long as you give them that contract extension before.
Okay, so you're talking about before the season's out.
Before
the start of the
new league year,
right?
That legal tampering period. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What you got?
I'm gonna extend him. Excuse me. I said that wrong. Fifth year option.
Okay. Why?
Tackles are hard to find. Linemen are a premium at this point in the league. You just watched a guy like Jalen Moore, who was the swing tackle for the 49ers, get signed for $15 million. He was the swing tackle. He was the sixth lineman. He was not a starter. So I go ahead and give him the fifth year option. And again, just like Kayvon Thibodeaux, I'll wait and see.
Man, you a nice GM.
Carolina's Carolina. Sometimes I'm gonna tell you like this, and this comes from me being in education. Sometimes the light bulb don't come on until later, but when it does, it shines bright. And I'm
I
gonna
agree
leave it.
with you.
And I'm gonna
I
leave it.
agree with you.
So sometimes it takes a while for them guys to get their legs under them, and then when they do, it's like, whoa, where'd this guy come from? Well, he was almost a bust, but now he's balling. So you got that happening. Let's move on. Evan Neal, New York Giants.
Tackle, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Holler at me.
This is one I would extend.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
You got a young team. You basically being real, the Giants' problems last year were not necessarily with protection. Now, one thing with Evan Neal that gives me pause on that though is he's missed some games with injuries. So when you think about that, it gives you a little bit of pause. But again, same concept. Linemen, good linemen are hard to find. Decent linemen are hard to find.
I give you all of that, man. I think me him being in my division. I'm just like, yo, I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm ready to cut you now. I'm ready to cut you now. I feel like you're a first round bust.
Okay, let's move on.
Drake London.
Drake London.
Oh, we need to get through these guys.
Yeah, Drake London. That he's shown what he can do. He's played pretty well. I think he's kind of elevated himself into that number one receiver position.
Yeah, so, he's had bad quarterback play.
That he's had that to deal with. But watch this: in 3 years, 3,042 yards, 12.6 per catch, 15 touchdowns. That's 5.
Okay, yeah, okay, extend him.
You got to give him his money. You got to give him money because he's emerged and separated himself from the rest of that wide receiver room in Atlanta, where that's your ex.
Now I will say this, because he doesn't have the accolades, I can give him an extension, but it don't have to be Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb or
no, it doesn't. No, absolutely not. No, but he deserves to be extended.
He deserves to be extended, and give him the money. Give him the money. All right.
Just spitballing, I'm gonna say somewhere in the 20 to 25.
Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere up in there. But he deserves that money because again, he separated himself from the other receivers in that room in Atlanta as he's the alpha dog. He's the X receiver. You can count on Drake London. And I'm a little bit biased because Drake London was in my fantasy team. He got me a lot of points this season. But you don't have to do that. You just put on the film. And he's like, okay, Drake London's a problem. No matter who they're playing against, Drake London's a problem. Now, the rest of the team may not be able to keep up. But when you put on the film, Drake London's a problem.
All right.
Yeah.
Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Seattle. He went to Mississippi State. You know him way better than I do.
Yeah, that's one that you let him play out this year, and you make a decision. I don't get a fifth-year option. I don't do that. I do not.
Oh, you do not? Okay.
I do not. You don't give out the fifth-year option. You let him play out this season. You see where you're going with that because, again, now you're talking about a team that's on a whole rebuild.
Okay.
You're thinking about that. You got Sam Darnold as your quarterback. DK Metcalf, Crash Out Metcalf is no longer there. You just cut Tyler Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
This team is directionless. So, honestly, this is one of them teams where hey man, you save some money. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and let him play this fourth season, see how well he protects Sam Darnold. And if he produces anything, then we'll have a discussion somewhere before the season is over. He's played, you know, it's a 17-game season. He plays 10 of them really well. We can have a discussion, you know. But right now, he doesn't get a 5th-year option. He doesn't get a big time extension.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm picking back off for you. So, New York Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson, Ohio State. Listen, I like Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately, these last couple of years in his young career, he's been through a circus.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
And it's not his fault at all. It is not his fault at all. He deserves an extension. We'll see what happens with Justin Fields at quarterback because he's on his 3rd team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But
he has had crappy quarterback play his entire career.
Yeah, and that's sad.
Which is 3 seasons. But with those crappy quarterbacks, 3,249 yards, 14 touchdowns. With bad quarterback play. Probably worse than Drake London. Worse than Drake London's quarterback play. So yeah, we're on the same page here. Don't forget he was offensive rookie of the year, the AP offensive rookie of the year.
Yes, he was. I forgot about that part. And that's when Zach Wilson was throwing him the ball.
Mm-hmm. So now if I'm the Jets, which you know the Jets are historically dysfunctional with their decision making, but if I'm the Jets, I hurry up and give him an extension quickly before Drake London gets his. And
yes,
because if I'm Garrett Wilson's agent and Drake London gets his deal, because they're right around the same area when it comes to what that extension should look like.
Yes.
If Drake London gets a certain amount, like let's say just spitball. Let's say Drake London gets $25 million.
Garrett Wilson should get 26, 27.
Exactly. Garrett Wilson's gonna ask for a few million more because he knows he's done it with less.
Yep.
So
all right.
Yeah, moving on.
Chris Olave, Saints, Ohio State.
Yeah. My issue with him is not his ability.
It's health.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Normally we have a lot of Saints fans that are in here, and I'm very upset that they're not in here because every time we start talking about Saints stuff, they're never around. And then when we're not talking about Saints stuff, we got a bunch of Saints fans in the.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So solid production. Again, probably in that same range as a Drake London, but under Drake London.
He is under. Yes.
Under Drake London, under Garrett Wilson.
Yes.
But we're talking about really good production with subpar quarterback play.
Yeah. Jameson Williams, Detroit Lions, Alabama. Now, he had a late start in his career because he was coming off a serious injury in college. Here's my thing with him. He's not the main receiver in Detroit.
So it's not going to be expensive.
Right. And so you give him an extension, but like I say, he's not – matter of fact, he's not even the main – he's
a very ancillary to – he's extremely ancillary to their
it's almost like he's Alvin Harper all over again.
No, I won't even give him Alvin Harper with the Cowboys. I'm going to give him Kelvin Martin of the Cowboys. God. You want to make that comparison because Kelvin Martin wasn't a superstar, but when the chips was down and you needed a catch, if you threw it to him, he was going to catch it.
That's true.
That's Jameson Williams. If you need to take the top off, that's Jameson Williams.
Okay.
So if I'm Detroit, I go ahead and extend him. He's not going to be expensive. He'll be he'll 23 to 20 million, 20 to 23 million, something like that.
He should be cheaper than
upper teens, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I offer him that extension. Here's the thing. I offer him that extension. If he doesn't take it, then we'll say, okay, we'll let you play free agency and you're welcome to come back. Now, that probably means he's going to depart from the Lions because somebody is going to pay him a lot of money. I think they'd be overpaying just because of the health concerns. Yeah. But sometimes you got to think frugally. You got to think a little bit more financially than you should, emotionally. So I would go ahead and I'd offer him an extension. It's going to be in the upper teens to 20. My cap would be like 21, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay, I get you.
Or 20 with incentives.
All right.
You know, but you know, if he takes it, cool. Welcome back to Detroit. If he doesn't, it's like, okay, well, you're free to play free agency. The door is still open. Our deal is on the table. So if you don't like what you're getting out there, you're welcome to come back to this. And by the way, we're contenders. Because some of these things is gonna offer you a whole lot of money, ain't gonna be contenders. You're gonna be out there running up and down the field and ain't going nowhere past January.
Right.
So that's something that Detroit should do. If I was Detroit, I would do that. Let's move on.
Philadelphia Eagles, Jordan Davis, Georgia, nose tackle.
Pay him.
You pay him.
Pay him.
You're not paying him 3 tech money. You're paying him nose tackle money.
Now that you could get into it with his agent about, and that could cause some acrimony in the discussion.
What I mean is this: you're not going to sit here and pay what Dallas just paid Osa Odighizuwa.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. He's not getting paid 3 tech money. You pay him a decent enough salary. I'm not saying lowball him. I'm not saying that. Okay. What I'm saying is you pay him about top 3 nose tackle money, whatever that is.
Okay.
Because he's doing what he's supposed to do as a starting nose tackle in Philadelphia. But I'm sure he's not in the game all the time because he's not a pass rusher.
Yeah, no, passing downs, I think he comes out.
Yeah.
Any Philly fans in the comment section, please clarify that for us. Let us know.
Yeah.
But I think he's in on running downs and he does a phenomenal job. But yes, pay him, but don't break the bank.
Yeah. Safety Kyle Hamilton, Notre Dame, Baltimore Ravens. I'm paying him. Give him a contract.
Come on, yeah, man. I'm like,
give him a contract extension, dude.
This
is a no-brainer.
Yeah, some of these are just like, 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, there you go.
He's been great. I thought he was going to be good coming out.
There were some people who had doubts about him when he came out of college.
Those people basically eat cereal with a fork. Kyle Hamilton is a great safety.
Yes,
he's not Ed Reed, but he's a great safety.
Right.
And the Ravens, if they want to have any kind of success moving forward over the next few years, they need Kyle Hamilton on that team.
Yeah.
So he's not a Geno Stone or Chuck Clark or somebody like that. He's Kyle freaking Hamilton.
Thank you.
So yes, absolutely, because you got a guy who's got the speed to get the coverage skills, but he's got the size to play in the box and really disrupt things. Did you know he has 7 sacks in 3 years?
There you go. 7
sacks in 3 years.
That's good.
Yeah. So 5 interceptions in those 3 years. Okay. So yeah, I think this is one of them ones. It's like a no-brainer.
He's a weapon. He's a weapon.
Yeah, he's a weapon. He's a defensive weapon.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So real quick. Is he what Derwin James was supposed to be?
Talking about Derwin James? Chargers?
Yeah.
I think Derwin James is a whole nother animal. I think you're talking about apples and oranges. They both really good, especially if the orange is sweet and the apples ain't too soft.
Yeah, but my thing is Derwin James hurt a lot, though. That's my only problem.
Yeah, because that's his playing style. Derwin James has a linebacker mentality. He just got the speed to go out there and cover. Okay. Now, that's not to say Kyle Hamilton won't knock your teeth down your throat, but they're 2 different playing styles. That's why I say apples and oranges, and they both can be good. So these next couple of players was funny. These next couple of players are no longer with their team that drafted them.
So what does actually Philadelphia have both players? Kenyon Green and Jahan Dawson do.
So now Philly's looking at 3 players that they possibly have to extend or give a 5th-year option to.
They're not gonna give that 50 option to Jahan Dawson. They're not. I know I'm skipping over Kenyon Green. They're not gonna give it to Jahan Dawson.
I don't think they're gonna give it to Kenyon Green either.
They probably won't.
I don't think they will. Unless he just comes in and just, reinvigorates himself and reinvents himself to the point where it's like, woo, hey, this kid, like, yeah, he's coming up. Let's keep him around. Unless something like that happens, and I don't see that happening. But and to be fair, he didn't play terrible against. He didn't play terrible again. I mean, in Houston, excuse me. But yeah, we'll have to see. So let's move on. Zion Johnson, guard, Boston College, Chargers.
You know what? I think this depends on Jim Harbaugh.
And
Jim I say this because,
Jim loves good linemen.
Yes, and so I don't know how good he has been since he's been in the league, and that's my issue. If he's been good to Jim Harbaugh's standards, he'll stay. But if not, then I don't see him staying.
That's fair. I'm just saying, Jim Harbaugh and name slips of mine, offensive coordinator.
Greg Roman.
3 yards in the cloud, it does Greg Roman. Yeah, that they thrive on having good linemen. Think about the
49ers.
The 49ers during the Harbaugh era. That line was massive. They were big bullies. They just pushed people around, and they just, and I think if you're not able to do that, they're gonna be like, hey man, you can go somewhere else. You're not going, but you still have to be athletic. So, moving on, because we're getting like a little bit past midway of the list. Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Tennessee Titans.
Cut.
Damn, I wasn't gonna cut him because now you drafted a new quarterback. He needs toys.
Cut.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
Rebuild.
You're just gonna completely rebuild. Just gonna have your quarterback out there looking for somebody to throw to that ain't open. Because none of
listen. Tennessee. Listen, this is why I need to be a GM somewhere. Tennessee need to sign a veteran quarterback and draft a quarterback, and Cam Ward is not out there looking for somebody to throw the football to. The Tennessee Titans been saying, I get it. I get it. You love Cam Ward. But you need to do a rebuild. Okay? Y'all keep going through general managers, keep going through head coaches, this, that, and the third. Get some stability in there. Then let Cam Ward play. You can bring in some veteran quarterback like a Joe Flacco and then just keep it moving.
Okay.
And I say Joe Flacco just because
hey man.
The only reason why I say Joe Flacco is because you're not paying him a lot of money. If he wins you games, cool. If he don't, keep him moving. But just have just because ain't no need to sit there and put Cam Ward out there and then he start losing confidence and stuff.
Okay, so back to Treylon Burks. Back to Treylon Burks. What do you say? Cut? I don't cut. It wasn't even an option.
Okay, but then let him walk after 4 years. Okay, I don't care either way. He's not getting a 5-year extension, 5-year contract.
Well, I agree with you. He doesn't deserve a 5-year extension. Here's something that we haven't discussed before. I would put him on a trade block.
Okay,
and fine. Because you're a team that's rebuilding. Now, hear me out. You're a team that's rebuilding.
You get some draft picks.
You need some draft picks.
There you go. Okay, I give you that. I will give you that, and I will not fight you on that at all.
Yeah,
I will not fight you at all.
And just to be clear, this is not Just a Fan Podcast. I need to pause for a minute. Just a Fan Podcast is not a Cowboys podcast. It is not a 49ers podcast. It is not a Philadelphia Eagles podcast. It is not a Washington Commanders podcast.
Thank you.
It's an NFL podcast. Will we talk about all the teams for the majority of the time we're on? Probably not. But if you ask a question about the teams, then we will get to you. So again, please be patient. Just because your comment isn't up here on the screen yet doesn't mean we're not going to get to it. Because we do have a program, we do have programming that we have to follow first before we get to questions. But we will get to them, especially if they're good. All right, let's move on.
Trevor Penny, offensive tackle, New Orleans Saints out of Northern Iowa.
I don't have an opinion because I really didn't watch him play. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm not gonna make up some stuff
I don't have an opinion
about a guy I don't know a whole lot about. And if you're around, come in and say something about Trevor Penning, please.
Titus, where are you? Jahil?
Eric James, Titus.
Somebody.
Yeah, come in and say something because I really don't know. I don't have an
either.
opinion about this guy.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't know if he really played well for the Saints or if Saints fans hate him. You know, so we gonna move on. This next player is no longer with the team that drafted him.
I think he's on his third team already. I don't know where he's at.
Second, he is in Philadelphia. He's backing up.
Is he still in Philadelphia? I thought he was somewhere else.
That I know of, he's in Philadelphia.
He's still in Philadelphia. Okay, well, no, he's in Cleveland.
He's in Cleveland. I'm so sorry.
So.
Yeah, he's in Cleveland. Oh wow, he has moved around.
Yeah,
inside 3 years. Goodness gracious!
They gave him a 3-year contract.
I'm not sure.
I thought.
I think his deal followed him, if I'm not mistaken.
Did it? Okay, well, whatever. I don't care. It don't matter. Kenny Pickett's not worth anything else. If his contract is up, let him walk.
He's a journeyman. Yeah, he's a journeyman. Unless he wants to come back and sign. Unless he wants to come back to sign in Cleveland for less, which I don't know anybody who wants to remain in Cleveland. Myles Garrett didn't want to until they threw a dump truck load of money at him, which I've lost a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, I have too, man. You get, but I mean, if you want to,
it's not about the money. I want to win. Here's some money, Miles. I'm staying.
Well, now, what Kenny Pickett can do is he can go to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and go visit. And if he can find his way to Akron, not Akron, but Canton, he can go visit Pro Football Hall of Fame too. Okay,
yeah, he might as well visit it because he ain't gonna let me stop. But
Kansas City Chiefs cornerback Trent McDuffie, Washington.
Pay him.
Yep.
All pro.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta pay him. He's clamps. You gotta go ahead and extend him. We're gonna see what his deal looks like with the cornerback market looking like it is. But yeah, you gotta pay him. Green Bay Packers, Quay Walker.
Linebacker, Georgia. 4 years by.
So basically let him walk out this 4th year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm on the fence about him. He has his moments.
He has his moments, but you can tell that he was part of that loaded Georgia defense, and
he got kind of just scraped in with everybody else. He's great because he's part of that defense, but individually he's not really. Yep. But he has his moments.
Yeah,
so
like I said, he does. He has his moments.
I think I would treat Quay Walker like who was that we were talking about? We give him a deal, and it's like, okay, Jameson Williams. Yeah, same thing. We're going to offer you a deal. It's going to be a fair deal based on what you've done. And if you don't like it, we're willing to walk and go see if you can get a better deal. But the door is open if you want to come back to this deal. Don't come back with your agent talking about, hey, we'll come back if you give us XYZ. No, this is the deal. Period. So if they offer him a deal that's, I ain't gonna say not lucrative, but just
decent enough.
A decent deal, he should come back. I would offer him not necessarily lowball him, but nothing where he gonna go cry in the car like he did at that game when he got ejected. But
he got ejected and was crying.
Man, you don't remember that? You don't remember that? I forgot who they were playing, but he got ejected.
Oh, I'm about to go find that
They
video,
showed him
man.
stomping up the tunnel, like throwing a hissy fit.
Oh man, was he crying like Red in the movie Friday?
He gonna cry in the car. Yeah.
Oh
That was a bunch
Lord,
of
he had
memes.
one of those. Oh,
Yeah.
Quay.
It was one of those.
Quay,
He gonna
man,
cry. He
you
gonna cry in
can't
the car.
do that.
But
Quay, come on, man.
206 solo tackles in
You
3
a
years.
linebacker from Georgia. Hold on, man. You a linebacker from Georgia. You can't do that, man. You 6'4", 241 pounds, man. You can't be doing that. You big baby. No, I'm definitely not giving you no fifth year option, man. I'm definitely not giving that, man. Get out of here. Look, I'm gonna call him Red for Friday.
206 solo tackles in 3 years.
I don't care, man. You weigh 241 pounds, man. You know, man. I'm calling you. Anyway, Buffalo Bills.
206 solo tackles in 3 years.
I don't care.
Is it trash? That's not trash. So that's why I'm saying we offer him. I say
no.
I'm not a Packers fan.
No.
Where is Jody? Because she would basically come in and tell us about it. But
no. Anyway, Buffalo Bills. Well, he's not with Buffalo's with Dallas. Dallas traded for him, and Dallas is not going to give him a fifth year option. I already know that. We'll see how he performs this year, and we'll go from there. Next, Dallas Cowboys. Tyler Smith, offensive tackle. Tulsa. Now he plays guard. Listen. Hold on. I'm sorry. You got me laughing with Quay Walker, man. You can't do that, man. Nah. Anyway, Tyler Smith. I'm giving him the contract extension now. I am. I'm giving him the contract extension. Because he's creeping on the come up. Now, I know this past year he didn't get any accolades or anything, but that's not his fault. That's on Mike McCarthy being a bad head coach, having a bad offensive line coach, having no run game identity. That's not his fault. But I'm giving Tyler Smith his contract extension.
I was gonna let you have that one. That's just your team. Offensive lineman.
Contract
extension. Yes. Jermaine Johnson, linebacker, Florida State Jets.
I guess. 50 option. I guess.
50 option.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Devin Lloyd, linebacker, Utah, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Another Trent Baalke pick. I think this guy runs slow. I think he's a slow linebacker.
I was about to say let him play his deal. In my opinion, let him play his deal.
Now he does have 349 tackles, and I will give him that.
Mm-hmm.
I will give him that.
That's why I said let him play his deal.
Yeah.
See what he does under a new defensive coordinator, and then we'll talk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay.
Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle, Georgia Packers.
Oh God. Bye.
You gonna let him walk?
After 4 years, yep. Bye.
Okay. I give him the 5th year option.
Okay. Cole Strange, New England, offensive guard, Chattanooga.
Here's another one that I'm not sure because I don't know enough about him.
Yeah, same here.
So I won't give an opinion about things I don't know, unlike some content creators. Ooh. But George Karlaftis, defensive end, Purdue, Chiefs, 5th year option.
Yeah, I'm giving a 5th year option. So I still think he's developing.
Yeah, but he's solid.
Yeah.
Daxton Hill, Michigan defensive back.
Safety. Did he ever do a good job replacing Jesse Bates, who went to Atlanta and still balling?
No.
Quietly.
No. So again, 4th year, you can go after your 4th year. We're gonna put an offer on the table. You may not like it. That's okay. You can take it or you can go.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Lewis Seen, I don't think it's in Minnesota. I think he's somewhere else now. Now
he's in Kansas City.
Philadelphia.
He's in Philadelphia? I thought he was in
never Kansas City.
Okay, no, okay, Philadelphia. Yeah,
He was in Buffalo before that.
yeah.
Okay,
He's
now I
moved
think
around. My issue with him is his injuries.
I was just going to say he suffered a serious injury at one time.
Uh,
I didn't know he was Haitian. Okay. Shot.
that's a when you guys are journeyman like that, you got to just say, okay, we're gonna let you play out this fourth year.
Yeah, he needs to get healthy. Because that's right. He did suffer a compound fracture injury to his lower left leg,
Hmm.
which required 2 surgeries in his rookie season.
I'm thinking about Cook. That's why I said Kansas City, not Senior. Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Okay. Yeah, he does have a Super Bowl ring with Philadelphia, which is crazy. Um, but you gotta get him healthy. Um, and just see what he can do for you. Just you just.
I
I
think
mean,
he's
you
so.
you
I think his addition to any team would be a really good special team and depth for your safety.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, we're not finna do the fifth year. Like, you play out your deal, and you can go into free agency if you want to come back. Come on.
Hmm.
He's that kind of player.
Yeah.
You know, I was high on him coming out, but he kind of disappointed me a little bit when he came out of Georgia from what he produced in Georgia as opposed to what he did in the league. And
Right.
to be fair, he he had the injuries.
Right.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, he's not a fifth year option guy or a heavy extension guy who was like, okay, we're gonna make you an offer and then you can go and see what you can get, which we pretty much guarantee is not gonna be much because there's not enough film on you,
Yeah.
you know. Uh but yeah, that's that's the 32 picks of the 2022 draft. Now there was another player drafted in 2022 that was not a first round draft pick. And we are talking about there's been major speculation about his deal and his future with his team. And we're talking about the guy who was drafted last in the NFL draft in 2022. Quarterback Brock Purdy, Iowa State. Brandon, thoughts?
Listen, I was on Twitter today, and somebody posed a question about Brock Purdy. Not someone famous, just somebody with an account. And someone responded saying he should only get $30-something million a year.
Again, this person, whoever said that, should take a bath with a toaster. Go ahead.
I refused to comment and respond to that person's comment. Okay, I refused to say anything because I know that Brock Purdy is way better than that. Matter of fact, even in the group chat, I had posted some interesting numbers on Brock Purdy, proving that he should get paid way more than $30 to $35 million a year. I had said between $55 and $62 million a year. Okay,
Right now, it's looking like his number is going to be somewhere between 50 and 55.
and I would and like I said 55. So if he doesn't get 62, I understand. It's not a Dak Prescott thing. Trust me, it's not.
No, it's a smart signing thing. It's not like because I'm gonna be honest. No disrespect, but Dallas is stupid as hell to give Dak Prescott $60 million.
I agree.
And we talked about it on the air when it happened.
Yeah, but
And that's just because Dak got 60 don't mean, even though Brock is proven that he's better, doesn't mean Brock needs to get 62.
right. So
Hey, let's back up.
now, if you're not gonna give him 60, I would still pay him more than 55 because a lot of quarterbacks who are getting paid 55, he has gotten the
He's better.
49ers further
Mm-hmm.
than a lot of those other quarterbacks have gotten their respective teams.
Yeah.
I.e. Tua Tagovailoa, who can't stay healthy, and Trevor Lawrence, who is just, we're gonna give him this probably his final chance to try to do anything, but that's gonna be about it. So I would give, like I said between 55 62. If you're not gonna give him 60, like I said, I'm not mad, but I'll still pay him more than 55. I'll give him about 57, 58, and that's my range.
And that still is a fair deal.
Yeah.
I believe that it is the Niners are like at one point were like top 3 in cash spending the last few years, and they're trying to. That's why they let a lot of free agents walk, because that money. If you totaled up the deals that the 49ers that left the 49ers that got deals somewhere else, it was like over $320 million. So you had to look at that and they're like, okay, we got to save some money. Also, when you look at going into next year, they're going to probably be back up to number 1 in cash spending again, just with Brock Purdy's deal.
Yep.
So what I'm looking at is, because they're the mentality of San Francisco right now is to build through the draft around your quarterback. Does he deserve 58? Hell, does he deserve 60? Probably, yes. But to be smart, I would rein it back just a little bit. I'd give him a $55 million deal laden with incentives.
There you go.
You get an extra $1 million if we make the playoffs. You get another $1 million if we get back to the NFC Championship, which you've gotten us to twice. You get another $1 million if we make another Super Bowl appearance, and then you get, I don't know, another $5 million if we win it. Now you got your $60 million or more than that. But those people that are sitting here talking about he needs $30 million, or they need to let him sit and bring in Aaron Rodgers and let him sit behind Aaron Rodgers. Again, get you some ice cubes with that bleach daiquiri that you need to drink because you're stupid. Okay? Tell me you don't know football without telling me you don't know football. Or I got some people that's up here talking about, hey, we should trade Brock Purdy going to the first 3 picks, which Brock Purdy's not going to yield you that because you don't know how value of draft picks work. So that's already dumb. But they talking about let's trade up into the first couple of picks and let's draft Shedeur Sanders, who has done nothing in the NFL. So you want to draft someone who's done nothing in the NFL and has questions surrounding him about before he even becomes a pro. You're going to take that over a guy who's gotten you to the cusp of winning a Super Bowl. And for those of y'all who keep saying that Brock Purdy, well, y'all didn't win the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. Again, tell me you don't know ball without telling me you don't know ball, because it wasn't his fault that the Super Bowl was lost. Anybody who knows X's and O's can look at that and say, nah, it wasn't his fault they lost it. It was a defense. It was game management late in the game. That is. You want to be mad at somebody, be mad like Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can't be too mad. Dre Greenlaw went out in the second half. At that point, they were holding Kansas City to 6 points in one half of football.
There you go.
So, there's that. And I'm gonna get down off my soapbox. But basically, I'm going to use my platform to tell these people that you need to reevaluate your whole life if you think that Brock Purdy needs anything less than $50 million or that he needs to be traded.
I agree.
And I'm through with that. Go ahead. Let's take some comments.
One comment from earlier. The Commanders had the 29th overall pick. Who should they get to beat the Eagles and make it to the Super Bowl? Listen, they traded for Laremy Tunsil for a reason, so they don't have to address offensive line at number 29. They traded for Deebo Samuel, and they find a wide receiver, so they're not going there at 29. Obviously, you're not going quarterback at 29 because of Jaden Daniels. I'll probably say I would probably address pass rusher at 29.
Defensive tackle.
Or defensive tackle. Somebody in that on that defensive line at 29.
There's a high probability that a really, really good defensive tackle could fall to 29 to them.
Yeah,
Now,
because
upper
it's
level,
loaded. It's loaded. So
the
it's gonna
defensive
be
class is heavy.
it's probably a defensive lineman.
And most people who really watched the Commanders play this year would say the downfall of the Commanders this year, their Achilles heel was their defense.
And stopping the run, especially stopping the run.
Stopping the run.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna stop the run, you have to start in the trenches.
Yep.
Now, my second choice of a pick at 29, James, is basically if Jihad Campbell is available at that pick. I don't think he will be. I think he'll be gone. But if he falls to you, you need linebacker help.
That too.
To go with Bobby Wagner, because Bobby Wagner is not a spring chicken. Put him on the field with Bobby Wagner together, and then groom him to eventually wear the green dot for Washington. But Washington's almost their entire draft should be centered around defense. That's what kept them from winning the NFC Championship. A lot of people, again, people that don't know ball, say, Jaden Daniels didn't win again. No. Jaden Daniels, that stage wasn't too big for him.
The stage was too big for everybody else.
There you go. So you got your quarterback. You got weapons around your quarterback. You need to stop somebody. And here's the thing. Washington's defense does not have to be top 5. They just need to be decent. Because if 1 or 2 stops here and there, they win some games that they didn't win last year.
Yep.
So I hope that answers your question. We got any more?
Nope. Because that's it. All right, so thank you all for joining us in this show. We are about 25 days away from the draft, roughly. The rest of our shows leading up to the draft is all in April. So next week we will be covering players that we have reviewed that we think should go in the first round. Okay? That's what we're going to cover next week. The following week, go ahead.
So also, just a reminder, this is a thing that we do in the off season leading up to the preseason. So it'll be later on in the summer. We have an opportunity for guest spots on the show when we discuss your particular division. So, for example, if we were going to discuss the AFC West and you're a Chiefs fan, we like you to be on the show. Tell us what you know about the Chiefs and what you think is going to happen this season. If you're a Chargers fan, if you're a Raiders fan, I don't know, because y'all don't know how to act. But, that's just an example. If you'd like to have a guest spot on Just a Fan podcast, let us know. Contact us through all our mediums, and Brandon will tell you about them in a minute. And say, hey, I'd like to be a fan. Some of our spots are already starting to fill up. We have some returners from last year who did guest spots, and then we also have some new people. And it's looking to be really interesting. But what we would like is to have a forum where there are representatives from each team when we cover your division. So if we do the NFC East, we need a Cowboy fan, a Giants fan, an Eagles fan, and a Commanders fan to be able to come in and talk about their teams, what their expectations are for this season, and what to do moving forward. So also, that's gonna be coming up pretty soon. So but that's why you need to get in touch with us now, and we'll give you dates. Go ahead, Brandon.
And also, yes, I'm a Cowboys fan, and so is Steve, but we would like somebody else that's a Cowboys fan. Also,
I'm a Niners fan, but I like somebody else who's a knowledgeable Niners fan to be a guest.
Also,
some of you've already eliminated yourselves.
Also, we have a Commanders fan, but we also like somebody else to represent the Commanders as well. Okay, so like I said, next week we will cover players who we think should go in the first round based on the players we covering. Like for me, I cover front seven, so that's defensive end, defensive tackle, linebackers. I can give you names who I think should go in the first round. Eric will give you some wide receiver DB names like corners and safeties who should go in the first round. The following week, we will go over day 3, guys. And then that final Monday before the draft, we would do our mock draft 1.0. And then Thursday night,
1 point only.
1 point only. Thank you. 1 point only. And then 25th of which is Thursday, we will have a live stream of round 1. So we are currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can follow us and contact us on what Eric was talking about earlier on IG, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. Coach Williams, Build Your Game Through the Trenches, NFL Encyclopedia. That Direction, Next Door to Me, Panel 316. Not here for the clicks, because we're not here for the clicks.
We have integrity.
But here's the good guy with the black hat. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out. And